Okay, so I am a compassionate person. So this is from the perspective of the other person. From the last reading, we talked about a toxic friend. So this is for you, toxic friend. The person I was talking about that was like doing crazy stuff and making the other person feel bad. I want to tune into your energy and why you may be behaving this way. Like, from the last reading, we learned that you threatened someone, you asked for, you demanded things from someone. You also, you were obsessed with like sort of power play and also maybe putting this person down. I'm thinking, had other people speak for you. You're obsessed with status in your life and constantly letting this person know how you're better than them, or having other people let them know. I want to know where this is coming from. Okay, you do have a situation where you're working with people and you're proud of it. And I think actually there may have been maybe people working together, you and this person, this old friend that you're like trashing. You may be used to collaborate together in a community. I think you at one time felt very close to this person, because we did get the star card. I didn't pull it out, but then I felt like you've had things happen in your life. I'm sorry, I'm waiting for this person to leave. They're hovering. It's really annoying. You had things happen in your life. I like to take everything that happens in the reading as meaningful. You felt paranoid, like somebody was watching you, maybe on the internet, or just maybe you were doing drugs and you had paranoia, and you felt like you were thinking about this old friend, and somehow you targeted a lot of negativity onto them. I don't think you were seeing kind of the situation. I think you were so blocked emotionally. Maybe you're like not in a feeling place. Maybe you're not a very feeling person. That you weren't able to like actually see like beyond status, beyond resources. And also you judge this other person a lot, because I think you judge yourself, honestly. I don't think you feel good about yourself. You definitely had some sort of divorce, and then maybe a new relationship that didn't get off the ground. So there's been maybe some disappointment with maybe the immaturity of men, if you're a woman, or if you're a man, maybe you had a partner that's a woman that was immature, and it was really hard. And that can be immature in many ways, maybe with money, maybe with emotions, maybe with just emotionally immature is one thing. And I think you're emotionally immature is what you're not seeing, actually. I know that you like kind of went crazy on this old friend. I think that you have some deep-rooted feelings of like not feeling like you have your house in order. It's not just like it's kind of like whether or not you have a job or not, because I'm sensing that you do have a job or some money happening. Like you're not on the street, okay? You're in an okay situation. You always feel like you don't have enough though. Like you always feel like lack. And I think this other person that you were friends with sees things like they kind of don't think of money in the same way as you. I think maybe they've been resourceful in other ways. Maybe they've had to like figure out other money situations, and you like are constantly, I think in the relationship and the dynamic, you were constantly being like, it's not fair how they find their money. I'm also sensing that you were you were just constantly like measuring yourself up against this person. And I think at one point they did have a career, and you were like, oh my God, I'm so jealous, because you had only seen them working like little maybe waitressing jobs or babysitting, and suddenly they were like doing some other job, and you were like, no, like they're not good enough for that. And I want to stop you right there. Like that's your thought, you know, because I think you feel not good enough to do other things. So seeing somebody jump, take a leap, or maybe change careers, you're like, I think you had preconceived ideas of this person, and they've changed they've like gone beyond your expectations. Like maybe you were like, they're not good at science, and then they like got like a science degree and you were like, what? You know, like I think it's been a long time. I think there was a natural like just breaking off point, but I think, yeah, as I said, there's been some more recent like conflict. Let's get some of your energy, like why you might behave this way. Ooh. Yeah, I think you have a lot of wounding. I think you're very defensive. You got a lot of wounding from childhood, maybe some body trauma, maybe some abuse there. That you have a deep feeling of things are not fair, unjust. Maybe you're a Libra or something in the 7th house. You have a deep feeling rooted within you that things are not fair, and it's not fair. Sorry, I got cut off. But you have a feeling that things are not fair, and it comes from your family because they taught you to think that way. Nothing's fair. And this person, I'm seeing things that has a very different life philosophy. I think you wanted to see them as lowly and like less than, and I think you need to look at that for yourself. You know, why do we need to put others down? Why do we need to compare and despair? We all have different paths. We have different goals. We have different juju. We have different, which means like good energy and luck. We have different life trajectories. We have different preferences. I don't know why you were so obsessed with the comparison here. Maybe you were very similar. Maybe you were the same age and constantly being put up against. Okay, yeah, actually, okay. I think you're more like, even if you're like artsy, you're more like normal type. Like maybe you're like the prom queen or something. But you forged this friendship with this other person who was like a non-conformist. And that in the beginning was like a point of interest where it was like, we're so different, we can like help each other. And then as time went on, it was like you were like in a place of feeling superior because you could conform more. And I'm also seeing that you excluded this person from gatherings, events, because you saw them as low class or something, which I think may be ridiculous and maybe your projection, because I think you actually come from a background that maybe was impoverished at one point, and maybe they're like connected somehow, like maybe it was like the hometown. But I think looking at this behavior, like why, you know, maybe you weren't thinking clearly, maybe you were like on some substances, or maybe you were like really in fight or flight, maybe you were actually sick with something. But I think you're not aware of like the damage that you caused with this person. And maybe it's been years, but like I don't think it's even a situation where you can go back and apologize. I think it's more you need to get some clarity about how you treat others. You know, we don't treat people like that. If you want them to stick around, we don't treat them like that. I think that you maybe grew up in a situation where a lot of the focus was put on you. Like maybe you were the youngest child or an only child, or there's a big age gap between the children, so you really got a lot of attention. And then you grew up with this sort of like, I am a star, like energy, which is beautiful and can be wonderful. Maybe this person grew up in a different way where it was more communal, more Aquarius kind of situation. I'm sensing the dichotomy between Aquarius, which is the community and the group, and Leo, which they're opposite signs. Leo is the star, look at me, I am creative, I'm special. This person was more like Aquarius, like they may be brilliant and they may be like concerned about like communal affairs and like healing, spiritual healing, and you're more like, I am a star. And even if you don't work in performance anymore, like you may just like have that energy where you like command attention, and that's okay. But I think it's about finding ways to use it productively where we're not like tearing others down out of our own insecurity. Because I think as time has gone on, you've seen how immature you actually were and how you behaved badly. And I think noticing, you know, recognizing that each person has a special soul that should be valued and cared to tenderly is a lesson that you need to learn for yourself, because you were not treated that way. And so this is why you treat others this way, because you think, well, I wasn't treated nicely, so why should I treat other people? So you're going to be remaining single, I think, for a long time. And also, your friends will be one-dimensional, and your relationship with your family, very one-dimensional, until you break through something here with self-love. Because the reason you're treating people like shit is because you feel like shit about yourself. And that's the reading.